President Muhammadu Buhari departs New York, the United States, after attending the United Nations General Assembly. Plus, on the news, protest rocks Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, as suspect dies in police custody. And when we take you outside Nigeria, Taliban hang dead bodies of four alleged kidnappers in the western city of Herat as warning of extreme punishment to resume soon. Those are top stories. We'll bring you details in just a moment. A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on the news once again. We begin with the presidency as President Muhammadu Buhari has departed New York, the United States, after attending the United Nations General Assembly. As at the time of filing this report, the president and his delegation are on the way to Nigeria. He's expected to be back in the country on Sunday. The president's Media advisor Femi Adesina said in a statement, President Buhari arrived in New York last Sunday, after which he attended a series of meetings with leaders of other countries, delegations, and heads of international development organizations. Earlier, Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his leadership roles in Africa as well as stabilization of the West African sub-region. The Secretary General spoke in a meeting with the Nigerian President at the sidelines of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly taking place in New York. According to the UN scribe, Africa, especially West Africa, was generally seen as an ocean of stability and good governance, but was deeply concerned at recent reversal of fortunes in democratic rule in some parts of the West of the sub-region with coups overturning elected institutions. President Buhari applauded Guterres for his global leadership and success of the 76th session. He assured the Secretary General that Nigeria had achieved appreciable successes in tackling the insecurity caused by terrorists and bandits. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari says support by the United States of America has made a great difference in Nigeria's efforts to stamp out terrorism within its borders. Meeting Friday in New York with Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, permanent representative of America to the United Nations, the president indicated America's support was a morale booster to the military and people of Nigeria in general, with a supply of the Super Tucano aircraft purchased from America and other helicopters on the way. President Buhari said ending the security challenges in Nigeria was only a matter of time. Ambassador Thomas Greenfield said about 700 work at the UN Center of Africa and expressed worries about the recent military takeover in Mali and Guinea. In his response, President Buhari said leaders have to respect their people, part of which is to obey the term limits clauses in their constitution. In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari Friday held a bilateral meeting with Netherlands Prime Minister Mark Rutte at the silence of the 76th UN General Assembly in New York, affirming that Nigeria was dealing with terrorist elements troubling the country. On the economy, the president said the country took decisions to shut the borders, eat what we grow, and curb smuggling, noting that if these had not been done, he said, and I quote, we would have been in serious trouble. He also said, and I quote, we are lucky to have taken the decision when we did. Otherwise, things would have been impossible with the advent of COVID-19. Prime Minister Rutte congratulated President Buhari on how he successfully leads a country of over 200 million people, wishing Nigeria greater advances. And away from that, we'll take you to the Niger Delta region as a suspect dies in police custody in Bayelsa State. While the police commissioner has ordered for a discreet investigation, kinsmen of the deceased and Ijo Youth Council blocked the Mofo Dokilo Road in protest. Our correspondent, Dele Fason, filed in this report.
A barricade at both sides of the Biobolo axis of the Melfort Okilo Road and the Isaac Boro Expressway forces residents of Yenagoa to walk long distances to their destinations. The people are angry over the death of 27-year-old Goodluck Izikwe, who was arrested over a shooting incident where the rifle of one inspector, Ugboto Sunday, was allegedly taken away at Biobolo on the 21st of September.
Just came to Biobolo community arresting people and take them to cell without even good investigation. And they just killed this young man. We are not happy. And if the government did not do something today, I'm telling you, we're going to be in this place till tomorrow. We are not going anywhere.
We will not and will never accept this heinous act perpetrated by Chris and his cohorts. The police owe every citizen a duty to arrest, investigate, and prosecute, not to arrest and kill.
Following the death of the young man, the people of Biobolo are making demands.
The boy's corpse was lying at the mortuary, so we now send somebody to the mortuary. The police did not allow us to enter, so we made our way inside and only find the corpse on the ground, lying down. So we took the photo shot of that boy, then we posted it out for people.
We want the release of our boys where they hold in their custody. And then the one where innocently, we don't know what happened, we don't know how come. When we only hear say one of our sons don't die and they dump him at the back of a FMC mortuary.
The Ijo Youth Council has a message for the Commissioner of Police.
I'm calling on CP Esheng to, as a matter of urgency, with immediate effect, see that this person that perpetrates this act should be made to face the law immediately. Otherwise, in solidarity to my people, to the family, to the sons and daughters of a Pia Kingdom, we are going to remain here until our demands are being met.
In the meantime, the police have issued a statement confirming the death of the suspect, describing it as unnatural, with an order for a discreet investigation.
Let's start with that region as we're joined live from Port Harcourt, River State by with Ankeo Briggs, convener of the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement, NDSDM. She will be speaking with us on the call for the release of the NDDC forensic audit report, as well as calls for the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, to run for presidency come 2023, among other national issues. Thank you for joining us, Ankeo Briggs.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Since the suspension of the NDDC forensic audit report by the Niger Delta Minister Godswill Akpabio, there have been calls for the president to release that particular report and set up the NDDC board. What do you make of this development?
Absolutely. I'm in total agreement. I have always been in total agreement. I've said that over and over again. The forensic audit is welcome, but the forensic audit should not stop at 2020. It should have gone. It shouldn't stop at 2015. It should have gone on from 2015 all the way up to 2020, because this government have been in power since then and have released a lot of money. And yes, I have also said, along with others, that the audit report should not only be released, it should be made public. We should have access to it. It should be uploaded so that we, the people of the Niger Delta, will be able to access the content of what is there. And it should definitely carry the names of the people involved in the looting of the Niger Delta. And yes, the board should be set up. The only reason there has not been a board for a very long time is this claim of a forensic audit. So the forensic audit is completed, is handed over to the president, and even if investigation is going on the content, does not stop the government from setting up a proper board now to run the board the way the board should be run.
Head of your kinsman and the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, running for presidency come 2023. What are your reactions to this development as well?
Well, definitely, this is a rumor. It's not a confirmed rumor. It's not confirmed because the person involved, President Goodluck Jonathan, has not uttered a word in this direction, one way or the other. And until he has committed himself to tell the people what is it that is going on, it's just a rumor. But then, while discussing that, we should not forget that in 2018, President Buhari had signed an amendment into law, the fourth alteration, number 16. People who understand the Constitution will be able to say what no. But the most important thing here is that this law that President Buhari has assented to actually says that if you have been a vice president like Jonathan has been, and you served out the tenure of your principal, which he did, and you ran for election once, which he has, that you no longer qualify to run for election. So all these silly rumors that are going around, I call them silly because there is no background to it, there is no assurance of it. So all of these things, unless Buhari is going to change again, assent to a different law to allow Jonathan to run by what he has said, it's very clear that Jonathan cannot at this present time run for presidency of Nigeria. But quite honestly, that is not what we are interested in or should be interested in Nigeria today, especially the Niger Delta region. What we should be interested in is how things are going to be better, how we're going to get what we want, whatever those things that we're clamoring for are, which is a change in the way the government is run, a change in the constitution, even a brand new constitution, and so that the states can actually begin to develop, because Nigeria has not developed since independence, and I really don't believe that any government is prepared to develop Nigeria. I think that the states should have the powers to use their resources to develop them. And if that's not going to be possible, then we have to find alternative ways of moving forward, one way or the other, whether in or out, but we must move forward.
Okay, many thanks for making your submissions known on the news today, Anko Briggs. Unfortunately, this is where we have to draw the curtains on our conversation with you, Anko Briggs, convener of the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement and the SCDM. Thank you for speaking with us on the news.
Thank you very much, and have a good weekend.
Sure. We'll move on to other stories, but just before we do that, we'll go on a break. When we come back, the ongoing controversy about states seeking the role rights of collection of value-added tax continues to generate heated debates. We'll bring you details on that story and more in just a moment. Stay with us, please. Many thanks for staying with us. This is the news on Galaxy Television. Now, for more updated latest news, visit our website at galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly. You can always accommodate live updates and comment. Now, the ongoing controversy about state seeking the role of rights of collection and value-added tax continues to generate heated debate. In this report, Galaxy's Godfrey Shimuge sampled the cross-section of federal lawmakers who may ultimately decide the fate of the legislation on revenue collection and other related subjects in the long run. Now, the report.
The unfolding drama over collection of value-added tax is a matter of litigation at the appeal court, with the government of Rivers State and Lagos on the one hand, and the federal government and the Federal Inland Revenue Service on the other. Lawmakers at the House of Representatives have equally shown interest on what is now unfolding.
It's a competitive environment for all the states. States will generate their revenues. That's what it's supposed to do. States will generate. So most of the items in the exclusive list, there should be devolution of power of majority of them, leaving external affairs issues to the central government, and the other issues should move down to the state. That's the way it's supposed to be. But today, everybody comes to Abuja to come and share money. That's not the way it's supposed to do. It limits the creative ability of states, to raise revenue, and looked outside the box to be able to raise funds for development of their various states.
There is a set government agency which is responsible for collection of tax and VAT. But as a student of history and as a politician, some of them, they lack historical perspective of most of these issues. And some of them, most of these learned associates, they just want to enjoy the benefit of creating confusion in terms of making the polity difficult and see that it's a birthright of one state or the other.
For Professor Steve Azaiki, a member representing Yenagoa, Kolokoma, Opukoma Federal Constituency, the VAT controversy will resurrect the ghosts of resource control.
Coming back to resource control, and not only control, resource control and management. Because I remember our passenger used to say, okay, you can control your resources, but I will manage the money. This time, we are going to look at all this. Look at the PIB bill. You are going to give how much percentage to the impacting communities? And how much are you going to give to those communities that you are going to do explorations in their states? All this, like a 3% or what? The 8th Assembly was even considering 20%.
Honorable Dandose Mohammed faults the religious angle the issue of VAT collection is assuming.
If you look at the component, how much is not very insignificant amount of money. I believe even in Christianity did not encourage alcoholism. Did Christianity encourage alcoholism? So that is not a technicality that will be. I believe in Islam, alcoholism is not encouraged, but even in Christianity, because we are talking from the moral point of view, not on the issue that is not much more needed.
The lawmakers also react to alleged moves by the Federal Inland Revenue Service to have the National Assembly transfer the collection of VAT to the exclusive list, making VAT collection strictly federal government business.
All that will be amended this time. I don't believe that it will be justifiable. I don't believe that it will be given a fair hearing, because the PIB bill and the transmission of results, electronic transmission of results, has shown that we are still playing party politics instead of the interests of this country. This is 2021, the end of the 21st century, and we are still discussing manual voting.
You can't get 2/3 in this floor to be able to achieve it for an amendment in the Constitution. 2, you also need 2/3 of the state. So if you are categorizing north and south, it means you can't get 2/3. 2/3 of 36 is how many? So it's not possible that the state assembly will align with you. It's not possible. Even if you pass it in the National Assembly, the state that are supposed to make up the 2/3 cannot align with you. It's so simple. So it's a dead and arrival. To the best of my knowledge, I will advocate. I am in the leading role to kill it.
Godfrey Eshamuge, Galaxy News, Abuja.
And now in the southwest, particularly on health-related matters, the Ekiti state government has raised alarm to keep residents on red alert after 5 suspected cases of cholera surfaced in the Mobile local government area of the state. The cases were detected by community informants who reported the same to local government health authorities. The Commissioner for Health and Human Services in the state, Dr. Oyebanji Filani, highlighted the possibility of an outbreak of the disease in some other local government areas. Finlani explained that the ministry has also intensified actions to ensure a coordinated and effective response to a possible outbreak through the provision of medical and laboratory supplies for case detection and management, rapid scale-up for risk communications, and water sanitation and hygiene wash activities in the state. And now to party politics, members of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State across the 351 wards across the state on Saturday participated in the party's ward congresses held across the country. The exercise, though devoid of crisis, has reported cases of abnormalities as there were reported cases of parallel congresses. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports the story.
As scheduled, the World Congress of the People's Democratic Party was held across the country on Saturday to facilitate the election of new party leaders at the world level. In Oyo State, the exercise was peaceful despite the fact that there were reported cases of parallel congresses in some areas. The chairman of the World Congress Committee and the deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, had on Friday addressed electoral officers on the need to conduct the Congress in line with the provisions of the party constitution. At Ward 5, Agodi, Ibadan, the exercise was peaceful while security men were on ground to ensure orderliness. Also at Ward 11 in Ibadan Northeast, which is the ward of Governor Seyi Makinde, party faithful trooped out for the exercise. Addressing the party members, Makinde advised them to remain calm, adding that his administration has good intention for the masses.
Well, I mean, the exercise today went peacefully. I asked them, is this who you like to be your ward chairman and executives? And they all said yes. So I expect other congresses, the local government congress and the state congress itself, to be peaceful as well.
The governor described the exercise as largely peaceful as he called on the aggrieved members of the party to remain calm and give peace a chance. The chairman of the Congress Committee, Philip Shaibu, also declared that the Congress was peaceful.
I want to ask them, to stay unified. In unity, we can do quite a lot. And for some that are angry or are aggrieved, let them bring their issues to the table. We will address it.
P is poised to be able to deal with those issues, those challenges that we have. So my own message is that we must stay stronger and we must play up those sentiments that make us strong and play up those sentiments that will make us work together to make sure that 2023 we take charge of federal.
Some of the party leaders expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the exercise, adding that PDP remained the party to beat in Oyo State.
It was largely free and fair, and it was clear to all and sundry that Seyi Makinde is firmly rooted in the hearts of the electorate of Ward 5. People came out en masse. Despite the fact that there was not much movement on the streets, people came out and there was an overwhelming support was expressed for the government of Governor Seyi Makinde.
There's a lot of calmness in the air. I love the fact that everyone behaved orderly. I'm seeing many faces who are dedicated. They've been on the course for many years, and the passion there for His Excellency is immeasurable. I can't even measure it. So
as of the time of this report, the exercise has been concluded across the 351 wards in the state. From Ibadan, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Now, away from that, government at all levels have once again been charged to ensure that children do not hawk on the streets but are enrolled in schools, as children who are uneducated would end up becoming trouble to the society. In this report, Galaxy's Valerie Chioma examines the dangers associated with child hawking and the need for government to act fast in curbing the menace. Now the report.
In Nigeria, low income has deprived many families from training their children in schools, leaving those children with no better option but to hawk on the streets in order to support the family financially. It is not uncommon to see children and teenagers that are supposed to be in school hawking on the streets even till late in the night. The increase in hawking is as a result of spiraling poverty and the economic hardship in the country. The child rights advocates Dr. Joy Osazuwa and Barrister Joseph Igwe sheds light on what could be the major cause of child hawking.
International Labour Organization has estimated that about 14 million children are out there on the streets. And what are they doing there? They are busy hawking wares. Child hawking is on the rise. And this is due to poverty. The poverty of their parents, poverty, illiteracy, because a parent that knows that a child needs to be in school will do everything it takes to put the child in school.
You see that the rate of children out of school are more in Africa than in developed world. And it's basically the issue of poverty. If the parents cannot afford to eat, you can't expect them to afford school fees for the children. So survival first. They want to make sure that the children eat and survive before you talk about education.
The Child Rights Act 2003 prohibits the use of children for any type of hawking. Regardless, a lot of children can still be seen hawking on the streets. Majority of these children say they would not be found hawking if their parents had the means to cater for them.
We are working because we don't have money for food. We want so that government will provide for us. So government, they help us now for no hawk. I don't like this hawking, it's stressing me.
Because we need money for food and for school fees and everything. I need money, and that is why I'm up.
I dey hawk because of I want to feed my family. May all of us dey together. If to say my papa, my mama get money, we no go dey hawk. We dey look for food where we go chop. I want me to provide money for us. I will pray may God to give them money in Jesus' name.
Commenting further on the menace of child hawking, Dr. Joy Osazuwa highlights the danger associated with it, while Barrister Igwe urges the government to do better to ensure that all children have access to basic education, which is their basic rights.
They're exposed to sexual abuse, they're exposed to drug abuse, accidents, even death. Right there on the street, they're introducing them to substance abuse right there on the street. Right there on the street, they are recruiting them for banditry. I mean, they're just exposed to every negativism. The government need to do something, and they need to do something now.
Encourage parents to make sure their children go to school, at least obtain that basic education. And that will help those children, even if it is to be artisans or to do menial jobs or whatever, they have a basic knowledge. They can be able to write and read.
Undoubtedly, the government has been charged to live up to its responsibility of protecting children from all forms of abuse. Valerie Chioma, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
In the meantime, giving the girl child basic education is worthy of implementation. This forms the basis of a high-level stakeholders dialogue towards addressing the barriers and bottlenecks overshadowing the girl child education process in Kaduna State. The dialogue program highlights numerous challenges hindering the actualization of the girl child academical dreams, which include social-cultural barriers, early marriage, child labor, poverty, child hawking, amongst other vices.
Because they have to know that the lives of our girls is the same as that of our boys. So the self-worth of the girl is not different from that of the boy. And an investment in a girl is an investment in society. At the end of the day, they bear children, they take care of these children. So if you depreciate their value, you're depreciating the value of the children that are unborn.
In the various communities in Kaduna State that is affecting girls' education in the state. And like you heard us talking about them, we talked about socio-economic problems, we talked about infrastructural problems, we talked about security barriers that are keeping the girls out of school. But after this, what we are trying to get now is to get recommendations from all the stakeholders based on what they have heard, so that we can triangulate with our own recommendations, and then we now identify the various agencies that we feel we will work with, create partnerships and build relationships and strengthen our resolve towards seeing that we put in place policies as the implementation of existing policies.
And even here, we need to work on our mindset that when you train the girl child, you are going to save the nation because she becomes a mother. So are we saying that we're educating the girl child simply because she will become a mother? What if I don't want to become a mother? Does that mean I don't have any contribution to give to nation building and all these things? So these are conversations we need to have. The woman who leaves her father's house and is handed over to another man, and she's told that this is the man that will determine whatever you do in society and stuff. So I think we need to have that conversation going forward.
Still in Kaduna State, as stakeholders representing the 23 local government areas of that state present the barriers and bottlenecks hindering the girl child education. The role of lawmakers and security agencies remain crucial to addressing barriers of the girl child. And now to other stories. National Emergency and Management Agency NEMA Saturday distributed relief materials to victims of the 2020 flood disaster in Logo local government area of Benue State. The NEMA North Central Coordinator and leader of the delegation, Eugene Nelang, said the donation of the relief materials was in fulfillment of federal government's promise to support persons affected by the 2020 flood across 13 local governments in the state. Chairman, Logo Local Government Council Area, Teresa Agbaber, commended the federal government for attending to the plight of the people of Logo Local Government Area who were affected by the flood. He also lauded Governor Samuel Otom for providing logistics and promised to guard against the diversion of the items. The materials received includes herbicides, sprayers, fertilizers, and others. Residents of Orile-Oko in Remo North Local Government Area of Ogun State have appealed to Governor Dapo Abiodun to come to their aid by putting an end to the 17-year blackout in the community. In this report, correspondent John Felix takes a look at the plight of residents in a community once described as a food basket of the state. Now the report.
Orile-Oko, an ancient town in the present-day Remo North of Ogun State, consists of over 33 villages. A rural settlement with a population who are mostly into crop and livestock farming. Living in perpetual darkness is not new in Orile-Oko, as children within a certain age range in these communities do not know what it means to have power supply. For a community dominated by farmers, one would understand why businesses in Orile-Oko is not operated on a large scale. Yet, the few small-scale businesses are stifled by unnecessary expenses, mostly on fuel to run their small generators, for those who could afford it. This is the transformer that energizes 12 communities here in Orile-Oko community of Remo North Local Government Area of Ogun State. It was commissioned on the 9th day of April 2003 by the Olusegun Oshoba-led administration. The residents lament that their community last enjoyed electricity supply over 17 years ago, during the tenure of a former governor of the state, Chief Olusegun Oshoba.
They are managing. We are using only our generator. Yes. That's some teachers they want to live here because no lights, no road.
Generator la ń lò. A fẹ́ tura látọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba torí tí ìjọba bá fún wa níná ara tù wá náà ni. Títì ló ń jẹ́ wá líyà jù. Torí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá múra bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dúró báyìí kẹ́tọ́ orí ọ̀kadà.
For the fuel, almost, let's say, 30 to 40,000 naira.
Monthly?
Yes, yes. We just go, maybe we'll just look us do something where in redeem where this our community we go enjoy.
Speaking to Galaxy TV News, the Lisa of Oriloko, I Chief Olakunle Olalekan, says life has become unbearable for the residents as a result of the blackout.
Oriloko is a community. We are all farmers. We are farmers. Oriloko is being marginalized. We are suffering in Oriloko. We thank God, we thank the His Excellency, the former governor of Ogun State, the former governor of Ogun State, Aremo Olusegun Oshoba, for having mercy for Oriloko. He is the one that electrified Oriloko in year 2000, 2003, and since 2004, we have been in darkness in Oriloko. No light. We are appealing to the executive governor of Ogun State right away, His Excellency, President Akpo Abiodun, to please, for God's sake, to come to our aid by assisting Oriloko and let us have the land back. We have been in darkness for the past 18 years ago, or let me say 16 years. We are in darkness. We intended we wanted to celebrate 16 years in darkness. We wanted to celebrate it. But we thought, well, if you celebrate 17 years in darkness, maybe they will come to our aid.
The Lisa Oriloko speaks on the economic impact the continuous blackout has had on the community. Schools are not spared, core members inclusive. While pledging his support to the state governor, Dapo Abiodun, he calls for an urgent intervention in Oriloko.
Teachers are posted here, but when they come here, they say no light too. They just try to go back. We have 6 primary schools. Economically, financially, everything we affected. Because when the light was on in Oriloko, we see the weather, the iron bed, the electronics, they come down from all over in Nigeria here. They come and build houses here, they come and rent shops here, begin work here. But immediately the light was off, they begin to pack their things. So as it is now, we only farm here. Even if you farm, you want to prepare, let me say, you want to reserve a little something. When there's no light, you can't reserve anything. So it's not ideal.
The special advisor to Ogun State Governor on Public Communications, Remi Azan, acknowledged Oriloko community has not been fairly treated over the years by past administration. He says the government will continue to prioritize infrastructural development in Oriloko.
So Oriloko is part of our focus in the infrastructural development plan of the state. The road in that community has already been awarded. Every other thing that has to do with this no electricity supply that you're talking about, and some of their schools too that haven't gotten our attention so far, will also begin to get the attention, because whatever you want to do, you just must have access. If there is no access, every other thing will only be on your wish list, and until you do what is needful, you can't begin to act out what you have in mind.
With the desired infrastructure in place, Oriloko may just return to take its place as the food basket of the state. From Oriloko in Ogun State, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Let's stay in Ogun State as 2 persons have reportedly died on Saturday morning while a Toyota Sienna car was said to have run into some commuters at Adigbe community towards Arigbajo on the Lagos-Abeokuta highway. 7 other persons were said to have sustained varying degrees of injuries as a result of the road traffic crash. Spokesperson, Ogun Traffic Complaints and Enforcement Corps, Trace Babatunde Akimbi, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Abeokuta. Akimbi explained that the incident occurred at 7:32 a.m., saying the Sienna also hit a brown Ford car and a yellow tricycle. Akimbi added that the injured were taken to General Hospital Ifo, while the deceased were deposited at the morgue of the same hospital. He stated that the Corps Commander of Trace, Sheni Ogunyemi, admonished drivers to regulate their speed and avoid excessive speeding. And now in Delta State, motorists of Palace Link Road in Uheli North local government area of that state have lamented over the deplorable state of their road, which is a major road linking the Asaba Express and Warri. This is coming 2 years after the former Delta State Commissioner for Works, James Ogoye, who is now vying to become the governor of the state, promised to fix the road, which according to him was in the 2019 budget. The residents who expressed their displeasure while speaking with Galaxy News on the disadvantages of driving through the road, call on the Delta State government to come to their aid as it is making life unbearable for them.
You can see that the whole place, the road is very bad. On daily basis, it affects us, we that stays around this place. And the galloping and all that, it damage our cars. You can see too much stress of this bad road. So in all, we don't have road here. So the government should look into it and put a way of, amending the road for us.
The government to do the road for us, it affects us in many ways. It affects our motor, it affects anything about us, as in it make transport the cost. When they say, when you tell person say carry you go inside, if they say that you don't call this road Bisabina road, nobody go gree carry you again.
Keke we derive for this place. We derive between Otowodo of your palace to Ovi town. The road where we derive so very, very bad. Every day we dey go workshop to repair our keke. Even our body they pain us. Passengers when they enter they would complain. As I now when rain fall so water don't cover everywhere. Not they would see the pit where keke they pass. With the beg government they help us do the road very bad.
Some artisans lament the effect of the deplorable road on their businesses, blaming it on what they described as the poor nature of the failed road.
It affects my business because it dey make customer not dey feel dey call. They say the road too very bad. So call this side now, so now wahala. Nobody not agree to call this side.
Quickly failed. That is just all I can say. And it failed based on the fact that the work, I don't know, maybe poor work or poor work. Because if the work has been a good work, the road will have been in a better shape.
Pregnant woman one day, he say no fit sit down for the keke again, say the guy lost too much. He go use leg waka. And he can't down for the keke.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy Television. It's now time for us to join our international desk for more.
Tracking stories from the international scene, the Taliban are said to have hung the dead bodies of 4 alleged kidnappers in public in the western city of Herat in an apparent warning. The gruesome display came a day after a notorious Taliban official warned that extreme punishment, such as executions and amputations, will resume. The men were killed in a gun battle after allegedly seizing a businessman and his son, a local official said. The news agency AP was told a body was hung from a crane in the city center. A local shopkeeper told the agency that 4 bodies were brought to the square. 1 was hung there and 3 other bodies were moved to other squares in the city to be displayed. Meanwhile, the deputy governor of Herat, Shari Ahmed Elmara, was quoted by local media saying that Taliban fighters had tracked the alleged kidnappers down and killed all of them in a firefight. Since taking power in Afghanistan on August 15, the Taliban have been promising a milder form of rule than in their previous tenure, but there have already been numerous reports of human rights abuses carried out across the country. The Taliban's notorious former head of religious police, Mullah Turabi, now in charge of prisons, said on Thursday that extreme punishments such as executions and amputations will resume in Afghanistan as they were, quote, necessary for security. In an interview with the Associated Press, he said these punishments may not be meted out in public as they were under previous Taliban rule in the 1990s. But he was also quick to dismiss outrage over their past public executions. Let's stay in the Middle East for a moment as allegations of torture and maltreatment by Syrian forces have surfaced as people in the besieged Rukban camp along the border with Jordan are moved to government-controlled areas. The United Nations, in coordination with the Syrian Arab Red Crescent, has commenced the transfer of displaced Syrians residing in the desperate Rukban camp to regime-ruled homes where they face the risk of human rights violations, critics say. While the operation is based on voluntary registration for people who wish to leave the camp, the Syrian Association for Citizens' Dignity said it was saddened by the UN's involvement in the transfers. SACD spokeswoman Haya Atasi told Al Jazeera the organization is completely against any attempt to send Syrians back to regime areas because of the lack of safety provisions. The Syrian government, with the support of its Russian ally, has blocked aid into the camp since September 2019, forcing some 21,000 people to leave the desperate situation in the camp. The estimated remaining 12,000 people are left with next to no food or water and lack sanitation in the camp. According to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs spokeswoman Daniela Molen, 88 individuals have registered to leave the camp as part of the UN-supported mission. Still talking international news, for the first time in well over a decade, German voters will enter polling booths for federal elections on Sunday with no clear idea which party will win, will be the next chancellor, or what governing coalition will be formed. Only a razor's edge separates the center-left Social Democratic Party, SDP, from the conservative Christian Democratic Union, SDU, and its Bavarian sister party, the Christian Social Union, CSU, according to the latest poll by the Alan Batch Institute, which puts the arch rivals at 26% and 25% respectively. Other polls released in recent days put the SDP's lead at 2 to 4 points, with a margin of error of about 3%. Experts have urged caution when interpreting polling data due to the uncertain influence of an historically high number of undecided voters, as well as an expected surge in postal voting. Exit polls will be released when voting ends at 6 p.m. local time. That's about 600 GMT on Sunday, and results will emerge throughout the night. And finally, on the international scene, 2 Canadians freed by China after nearly 3 years in custody have arrived home, ending a diplomatic row between Beijing and the West. Hours after their release, Huawei executive detained in Canada left for China. She is due in Beijing shortly. She was wanted on charges in the U.S. In 2018, China accused Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig of espionage, denying detaining them was in retaliation for Ms. Meng's arrest. Critics have accused China of using them as political bargaining chips. Mr. Spavor and Mr. Kovrig arrived in the western city of Calgary just before 600 local time and were met by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The 2 men had maintained their innocence throughout. At the press conference on Friday, Mr. Trudeau said they had been through an unbelievably difficult ordeal. The 2 men were accompanied on their return by Dominic Barton, Canada's ambassador to China. Before her release, Ms. Meng, the daughter of Ren Zhifei, the billionaire founder of Chinese telecoms giant Huawei, admitted misleading U.S. investigators about Huawei's business dealings in Iran. She spent 3 years under house arrest in Canada while fighting extradition to the United States. And that's it on Stories from the International Scene.
And from international news, we'll cross over to our entertainment desk for more reports.
Welcome to Entertainment News. Popular Nollywood actress Georgina Onoha has got some strong messages for fans who idolize and envy celebrities with huge social media influences. A disappointed Georgina, who's not pleased with the recent shenanigan in the entertainment industry, shared a lengthy epistle-like image to fans on a verified Instagram page. The actress, in a caption for the post, also expressed shock over the not-so-good reports that were coming out of the industry. She branded the reports as shameful and unfortunate, while advising fans to be careful when choosing idols. In the later part of her message, she implored fans to be grateful for their little achievements and never compare their lives with anybody. Director Obi Emelonye has announced that his forthcoming feature film Blackmail has won its first award. According to Emelonye, the first film, which stars Osi Ukeje in the lead role, recently scooped the Best Trailer Award at the 2021 Changing Face International Festival. The filmmaker also announced the cybersecurity-themed film made the selection list for this year's Urban British Film Festival. Shot in the United Kingdom, the action thriller follows the story of Chinda Ikeje, a well-known London actor who becomes involved in a sextortion lawsuit launched against him by Igor, a criminal oligarch and digital fraudster. The new movie will reportedly be screening in over 16 countries. Also, renowned American rapper and fashion designer Kanye West is a man of means, and his latest purchase gets to show his financial might. The Jesus Walk rapper, whose net worth is $738 billion, according to Forbes, has splurged to $23.5 billion on the new home in Malibu. According to TMZ, the house on the beach is rare, having been designed by a top Japanese architect. The house in Malibu, California, was put on sale in 2020 for $75 million, but the Yeezy founder seems to have gotten a pretty great deal. The 4-bedroom house overlooks the Pacific Ocean and is 30 minutes away from the Hidden Hills house he built with Kim Kardashian, as his strange wife and his kids are still on the property. Finally, on entertainment news, one ship that has sailed in the house to the joy of the numerous fans is the Imaros ship, and of course the lovebirds are not slowing down with display of affection. Now, in the Big Brother house, the post cited on social media, a video captured the moment Bere beckoned on Liquorose and noted that Emmanuel has taken over her spirit and body, and it's only a matter of time before it takes over her body. Another video showed the lovers in a tight embrace with Liquorose in a bikini, as Emmanuel noted that she belongs to him. And that'll be all on entertainment news.
And that's the much you can take on the news for now. But for more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly, can always accommodate a live update and comment. Many thanks for watching the news on Galaxy Television. My name is Tife Tanimamo. See you next time. Bye for now.